Once, in a small and quiet village surrounded by green fields and dusty roads, there lived an elderly woman. She was very old, with soft gray hair always tied in a simple knot, and a face full of gentle lines that spoke of many years and many stories. Her skin was wrinkled by time, but her eyes were bright, clear, and full of love. When she looked at someone, it felt as if she could see directly into their heart. Everyone in the village loved her deeply because she was always smiling, even when life around her was hard and unfair. She lived alone in a small clay house near a large banyan tree whose wide branches gave shade during the hot afternoons. She had no children, and her husband had passed away many years before. Yet she never complained about her loneliness. Every morning she would sit under the banyan tree on a wooden bench that her husband had once built. Villagers often passed by on their way to work, and many of them stopped to greet her. She always listened carefully to their worries and answered with calm and warmth. No one ever saw her angry or bitter. She carried peace inside her. Life in the village was not easy. The people worked very hard every single day. Some were farmers who depended on the rain to grow rice and vegetables. Others were carpenters who repaired doors, built tables, and fixed broken roofs. A few worked at the small market in the center of the village, selling fruit, flour, and handmade goods. Sometimes the rain did not come for many weeks, and the fields dried under the burning sun. Crops failed, and families worried about food. Sometimes sickness spread, and people were too weak to go to work. There were days when fear and sadness filled the village like heavy clouds before a storm. Many villagers were often anxious and troubled. They thought about their problems constantly. They worried about money, about their children, about the future. Even when nothing bad was happening at that moment, their thoughts made them feel tired and afraid. One afternoon, a young woman named Rada came walking slowly toward the banyan tree. Her eyes were red from crying, and her face showed deep worry. She was holding her shawl tightly around her shoulders, as if she were trying to protect herself from something invisible. She sat down near the elderly woman and began to cry softly. "I don't know what to do," she said. "My husband went to the city to find work, but he has not sent any money. My children are hungry. I am afraid he will not find a job. I am afraid he will forget about us." The elderly woman looked at Rada with great kindness and smiled gently. "Sit, my daughter," she said softly. "Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Rada wiped her tears and shook her head. "I don't know," she whispered, "but I feel that something bad will happen." She continued, "What if my husband never finds work? What if he stays in the city and forgets our family? What if we have no food next month?" Her thoughts ran faster and faster, and each thought made her heart beat more painfully. The old woman listened patiently. Then she said, "Rada, when we think only about dark possibilities, our hearts grow heavy, our bodies become weak. But when we allow light into our thoughts, even a small light, we begin to feel stronger." Rada looked confused. "How can I think good thoughts when everything feels so bad?" she asked. The old woman smiled again and said, "Let me tell you a story. Once, there was a man who believed he had nothing. He had no money, no food, and no family. He felt completely alone in the world. One day, he sat by a river and shouted at the sky, asking why life was so cruel to him. He cried loudly and said, "I have nothing. Why should I be happy?" At that moment, I walked by and asked him why he was shouting. He told me his story and repeated that he had nothing. I told him to look around carefully. I said, "You have this river that gives water. You have trees that give shade. You have the sun that warms your skin. You have air to breathe. Are these not something?" At first, he did not understand. He only saw what he lacked. But slowly, he became quiet. He looked at the river, He listened to the birds and the trees. He felt the warmth of the sunlight. For the first time, he noticed beauty around him. I told him, if you focus only on what you do not have, you will always feel poor. But if you begin to notice what you do have, your heart will discover peace. The man did not change because of magic. He changed because he changed his thinking. Little by little, he stopped shouting. He started working again. He began helping others in small ways, and as his heart grew lighter, his life slowly improved. Rada listened carefully. "Do you really believe that my thinking can change my life?" she asked quietly. The elderly woman nodded. "Yes. If every morning you wake up and say, 'Today will be a good day,' you will find strength you did not know you had. You will find strength to work harder. You will find strength to care for your children with love instead of fear. And you will wait for your husband with hope instead of despair. Hope gives energy. Fear steals it. But if you wake up each day expecting disaster, your body will feel tired before you even begin. Your thoughts will make you weak. The same situation can feel very different depending on how you see it." Rada thought about the story deeply. Slowly, a small smile appeared on her face. "I will try," she said. "I will try to think good thoughts. I will try to believe that something good can happen. That is the first step, my daughter. A single positive thought can be like a seed. If you water it daily, it grows into strength." Rada left the small house with a lighter heart. The next morning, she woke up early and whispered to herself, "Today will be a good day." She repeated those words again and again while cooking, cleaning, and caring for her children. Weeks passed. She worked hard in the fields and at the market. She chose hope each morning, even when doubt tried to return. One day, a letter and a small package arrived from the city. Her husband had found work and sent money home. Tears filled her eyes again, but this time they were tears of joy. She ran to the elderly woman's house to share the news. The old woman laughed softly and said, "You see, my dear, when we welcome positive thoughts, we invite strength into our lives. Problems will always come," she added. "Life will never be completely easy. But when we meet our problems with hope instead of fear, we become stronger than the problems themselves." Soon, other villagers began visiting the old woman more often. They shared their worries, and she gave them the same gentle advice. Think good thoughts, and good things will find a way. The villagers loved her even more because her simple words began to change their lives. She did not give them money or magic. She gave them something far more powerful, the understanding that their thoughts could shape their world. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support helps more people discover inspiring English stories like this. Thank you for watching.